3, 4. Say you stand by your man, you tell me something I don't understand. You said you love me, and that's a fact, and then you left me.
Hello there, Tony Meadley once again, and welcome back to my workshop. Today's project, if you remember or cast your mind back about, I don't know, a couple of videos, well, I would say, I don't know, 4, 5, 6 videos ago, I made an extra large apple, and I've had that much interest of people wanting to purchase them. I've decided to make a couple, and I'm just going to video the one in Laburnham because I think it will come up really nice. So I've got a piece of Laburnham here. It measures approximately 6.5 inches in diameter, and I've cut it down. So we're going to make it about 6.5 inches diameter by approximately 9 inches. Put a chucking point in, get it turned round, and then we'll start making it into the apple shape. Anyway, without further ado, we'll get into the lathe and we'll get it turned round. All I've done, I've just marked off the centres. We'll get it between two step centres, and then obviously get a chucking point on it. Well, I've mounted it between the two step centres. So all I'm going to do, I'm going to rough it out, and I'm just going to get it into a cylindrical as far as the back goes, and then obviously we can put a chucking point on this end, get it turned round, and then obviously from then on what we'll do, we will shape it into the apple shape. Well, I've got it roughly to the shape that I want, and what I'm going to do now, I've drilled, as you've seen, a 2mm hole in there, and what I'm going to do, I've made just a little bit of apparatus, so I use it like a chucking point, and then drill through the centre, put a screw through, and then just put a little bit of tissue, something to protect the wood. But before I do that and turn it round, I'm going to sand it down and probably put a coat of sanding sealer on it. So if I get it all smoothed out, then we're going to turn it round, and I think I might have to get this down very, very careful. I'm going to have to put the steady on So we'll just see how it goes later on. But I think the best thing to do now is get it all sanded down to the till it's nice and smooth. Then we'll think about turning it round and then very, very carefully taking this bottom off. What I also forgot to tell you right at the beginning, and I probably told you time and time again, when you're turning yew or laburnham, it is toxic and you must wear breathing apparatus. I use an air shield, and then obviously I know that everything's okay there, so like I say, the dust from it can make you seriously ill. Well, I've turned it round and I've centralised it up in the centre with that live centre there. So what I'm going to do is take away this very, very carefully, very, very gingerly, so I can leave this on, shape the bottom, and then obviously get it to the shape that I want before we take it off. And I think I might have to put a steady on here, but I'm not quite sure yet. We'll see how it goes. What I'm going to do now is put the steady on, cut that through, and then obviously very, very carefully shape the bottom, and then hopefully sand it down and then clean it all up. Well, what I've done, I've fitted the steady and it's just on the top part of it, so I'm going to have to go very, very careful and very, very gingerly just to shape that bottom off. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to cut the bottom off, then there's not so much use of the chisel, because that it's just on with that the chucking point that I'd made. So very, very carefully I'm just going to cut it, and then obviously we'll shape it. I've just brought the tail stock up just to make sure that it's nice and tight, and I'm just going to cut that last little bit off there. Just before I start the shaping, I'm just going to drill another 2mm hole so that we can fit the calyx in. The reason I'm doing it now is just in case it moves slightly and it'll go out, out of centre. So I'd rather do it now, and then obviously we've got it to put the calyx in the bottom. Right, it's all ready to shape the bottom now. I've got the steady as tight as I can, but as I said earlier on, it's only done by a couple of threads on that screw. So very, very carefully, I'm just gonna shape this into the bottom, and then we can sand it all down and then put the calyx in and the stalk. got the shape, that's the required shape of the apple and the hole there, and all I'm going to do now is just sand it off and then put a bit of sand and sealer on, and then it's ready to all polish up. Well, it's time to fit the calyx, and from the 2mm hole that I drilled, I purchased these from Sainsbury's and they're absolutely superb. I'm not going to take the glory for that because I got it from Mike Walt, and they're absolutely superb. All you do is just glue it in, and then obviously it looks like a genuine calyx. So I'll glue that on now. Just put a little bit of super glue on the stem of the clove, place it inside, and then you've got a genuine looking calyx. But what I found best is just a little bit of shoelace, leather shoelace, and I've just purchased it from eBay, and it's so realistic because people want to pick them up, and obviously they can pick it up by this. So just put a little bit of super glue on it, and then, as I've just said, the 2mm hole that you drilled, place it in, and then twist it until it takes a good hold, and then just give it 10 seconds or so for it to go off, and then we're in business. You can pick it up by that. Well, I finally got them done, and as I said, I was making two. That's the two that I've done. That's a slightly larger one, and then the other one is that one, and like as I said, you can pick them up by that. The calyx in the bottom looks very realistic. In the ends, what I did, I put two coats of high gloss wax, and then I put another one of microcrystalline wax on top of it. And the reason I do that is because people like to pick them up and touch them, and it saves all finger marks getting on them. So all in all, quite pleased with them. And to be perfectly honest, when I was saying about Laburnham, you get a lovely grain in it. So there we are. So I hope you enjoyed that. It's something, a nice ornament for the front room, and to be perfectly honest, I got loads and loads of interest in them, people wanting to purchase them. So if you haven't already, please subscribe. It is a big help. Share it with your friends, any of your wood-turning friends, so they can see what I've got to offer. And all I can say is hope you enjoyed it, and I will catch up with you on the next video. Thanks very much now. Bye.